Found evidence of cheating on wife's phone. A little background on my wife 35 and I 35. We have known each other since high school. We didn't start dating until college years 2006 and got married in 2011. We have 2 children together. One daughter 2.5 and one son 5.5. We have started going to marriage counseling since March of 19. The reasoning from her is that she has felt alone ever since having children and that she feels like I'm lazy with the daily chores around the house and helping out with the children. I was confused because I didn't think I was lazy and I surely helped with the children. I've never heard of couples going to counseling for not doing the dishes or doing the laundry. But hey, I love my wife and I wanted us to work as a couple and I agreed to therapy. The therapy sessions mostly felt like her placing the blame on me for everything. It also seemed to me that no matter how hard I tried, it was never enough. I would have the house spotless, I would have every dish cleaned, I would have everyone's clothes washed, folded, and put away. Yet there was always more that needed to be done. Finally it came to a head with me and I told her that this is crazy and that maybe we should do a temporary separation in order for me to show that I can do everything in the household and also show how hard it is when you are separated with children. We made arrangements for us to go elsewhere while the children stayed at our house the entire time. We did this for the entire month of May and then stopped the separation because it seemed to improve things. Fast forward to the next therapy session after separation and everything seems great. My wife sounds happy and excited that the separation opened our eyes and things between us were actually good. I was happy, she was happy and the kids were happy. A couple days into June though I just had a gut feeling. Something I couldn't explain or understand. I just felt the need to go into my wife's phone and check things out. I am not one that is jealous or overbearing and I respect people's privacy, but with everything going on my gut told me to look. I let my wife do as she pleases because I trusted her and I believed she would give me the respect to not do anything that would compromise our relationship or marriage. Boy was I wrong. I keep a daily log now on my phone to remember everything that happens. Monday I found pictures of my wife posing with just her beasts in thin t-shirts or bras in the pics. You can clearly see her end pulls through these garments. All these photos were found in her recently deleted folder on her iPhone. All time stamped in June. Note, after our temp separation and after she says in therapy everything is great in the early hours of 2 a.m. 4 a.m. while I am sleeping. There were also pics of male genitalia after masturbating. She even made a collage of those male parts and put some of her pictures with it. I also found one of those secret photo apps in a business folder on her phone. Inside were pics of more genitalia and a video of her with just audio of her in the shower masturbating. I have never seen anything of the pics or videos in my life. I was devastated. I also started to look into her messages to see if I could figure out who this person was or who she is sending her pics to. Well, easier said than done, because she must be deleting messages because I couldn't find anything. I did pull our phone records and see a lot of incoming texts from 6,245 in the early morning hours as well as randomly during the day some days. I found out this is email texting, which I believe is another way she or her friend is covering tracks to hide their number. I also found a Facebook message between her and a male friend discussing our therapy sessions and he sends her heart emojis and she sends kissy face emojis back because she had a bad day at therapy with me. The last thing she sent to him was a video on YouTube with the preview picture in the message being raising my kids with my 2 husbands. So that has raised red flags. She has also informed me that she is no longer wearing her wedding ring because her fingers are too fat and she is going on a diet and to not be alarmed if I noticed her not wearing it. Tuesday therapy. Again she talked about how great things are going. I decided not to bring it up in therapy the very next day because it was so fresh. Although after the session, my wife left and I went back in and told the therapist and he said that is not good and this will have to be addressed the next session. So I must go 3 weeks with all this on my mind and try and keep it all together. I want it all addressed in therapy so the conversation doesn't become a blowout. I want that third neutral party present. Wednesday had an argument over family things that lead into me trying to get her to confess on having an emotional affair with someone or to at least sing. Nothing. She says she is transparent and 100% honest in our relationship. So once again another lie straight to my face. Over the next couple days nothing significant really happens, but I notice myself becoming distant and very short with conversation with my wife. She notices as well, her friend notices also. I just tell them I'm okay and I think I'm just in a funk. I've only confided in one family member, essentially my only family member, about all of this situation from beginning to end, and they suggested I get a consultation with a lawyer. I have one next week and I'm getting all the information I need to be ahead of this. I keep playing every possible scenario in my head of the outcome and it's eating me up. Having this information and not confronting her daily about it is eating me up. The fact that this will probably destroy our marriage and our children is eating me up. I feel so blindsided and betrayed by the one person I thought was the person I could trust most, the person who is supposed to be my teammate in life. The person who took a vow for better or worse and completely just destroyed it. I'm trying to keep the happy face, but I don't know if I can do it until August when our next session is. Update. Had a major fight yesterday morning over a simple request on not to stay out late with her friends. She stayed out till 2 a.m. I confronted her and that's when the fireworks started. Basically told her that with therapy I've changed my behaviors and changed the things that she says have caused problems. I said that I have done lots of work and all I did was ask that you not stay out late and you couldn't do that. She started to point the blame on my insecurities, said I was implying that she does bad things when she stays out late. She tried to manipulate the conversation to place the blame on me. This all happened through text as both of us were at work, and after things escalated I asked if we could please have this conversation in person. The argument continued. I start to set the stage again for her to admit to her affair on her own. Asking her does she trust me and should I trust her? Blah blah blah. She then has the audacity to call me manic. Argue more, blames all my issues on medication now I used to take AD blah blah blah. Finally she asks, what do you think I'm lying about? I said being faithful. I am continually telling her we need to have this conversation in person and not on text. But she insisted that I open this goddamn box and let's talk now over text. This is when I decided this is the point of no return. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I flat out asked, what do you consider cheating or an affair? She replied with kissing, sleeping with someone, all those things. Everything. I said emotional? She replied yes. Cheating? I said sexting? She replied yes. I immediately replied we need to talk in person. She went silent for about 10 minutes and said that she's at work and some people were walking in. I kept at it though. Are you sure nothing is going on? She replied yes. I said yes, nothing is going on, or has anything gone on? Then it happens. While we were separated I chatted. But nothing ever happened ever. I was floored that she would actually admit to this. But the trickle truth began. I wanted to know who it was and I got a bunch of it doesn't matter and that it was nothing and still nothing. It wasn't emotional, it was just there for her. She told me it was someone from a different state. I then demanded she call me. She called me and I laid into her. I was irate, furious, and all the emotions I've experienced that last week and half came at me all at once. She admitted to everything after I told her I knew everything and that I had proof. I was pissed. Did not end up being anyone who I thought it was, but was a local guy from high school days. Now another shocker. My mother-in-law watches my kids at my house while we are at work. I decided I'm leaving work early, I can't focus at work right now. She calls her mom and tells her everything on how she messed up, she cheating and she was so sorry. I get home and her mom breaks down in tears and tells me how sorry she is and how she is at an absolute lose for words. She couldn't process it, she was essentially in shock. Finally, after a couple minutes of just crying, she said this has to be figured out ASAP for these kids' sake. I initially wanted to kick my wife out, go stay at your parents'. But then I realized that would mess my kids up. So I said for now we will live under the same roof until we figure something out, whether it be reconciliation or divorce. She agreed. Last night we slept in different beds. Finally being able to get the truth or the major part of the truth out has been a major relief on my mental and physical state. I feel like tons have been lifted off my shoulders. I think it was good that I had a week and half to process this bullshit before this admission happened, because today I feel free. I actually had an appetite yesterday. I'm all cried out, I'm emotionally drained, and now I'm going to focus on myself and my children. I still have a meeting with a lawyer next week that I am following up with, and also we still have therapy in beginning of August. I am giving it till therapy to see what shakes out. Thank you all for the support and advice. I was overwhelmed with the amount of people who took the time to offer their experiences and thoughts. Thank you again. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, hey man, I'm so sorry you find yourself here. Here is the first question, do you think you might want to try to reconcile? It's okay if you do. You aren't weak if you want to try to find a way forward together after this. What she is doing is disrespectful and selfish. She has destroyed your trust, and it is completely understandable and justified if you choose to end the marriage. My wife and I are over 2 years out from her confession of an emotional affair which ended after a one-night stand. Our marriage is now better than it ever has been, but the process was brutal and took a toll on both of us physically and emotionally. I can say that for us, staying together was worth it. I'm happy to chat with you over PM if you'd like more details about what we did that worked and we wish we would have done differently. I wish you peace through this process. Redditor 2, she has also informed me that she is no longer wearing her wedding ring because her fingers are too fat and she is going on a diet, and to not be alarmed if I noticed her not wearing it. This jumped out at me as being a really huge red flag with fireworks and sirens. I'd get an attorney now, this is going to get ugly.